Alright man, we're back here with some more NTE and we're going to be talking about Esper cycles and, in better terms, the elements in the game, because this game is going to have elemental reactions which I feel like is going to be very important for combat, endgame, and obviously team building as well. So I feel like it's definitely something worth making a video on and, you know, making sure people understand what this is, because I know, you know, a lot of people are going to want to go for their favorite characters and so on and so on, but I think if you're definitely going to be someone that's really into the combat side and the end game, I'm pretty sure the Esper cycles and the elemental rotations with teams are going to be very important. So we're pretty much just going to break it down and let's get straight into it. So first things off, there is 6 elements here, as you guys can see, and they can interact with each other to trigger an Esper cycle. Esper cycles can only be triggered with 2 or more adjacent attributes on the cycle wheel. When a character is available to participate in an Esper cycle, their portrait will glow. An Esper cycle is triggered when a player fills their cycle rate and switches onto a new character, triggering that character's intro skill accompanied by the Esper cycle. If you are attempting to trigger a 3 attribute Esper cycle, you will first need to trigger the 2 attribute cycle and then swap to a character representing the 3rd attribute in the trio. So the damage dealt by Esper cycle scales with cycle intensity. So this is basically the elemental reaction right here, right? So, you know, maybe some characters in the game might scale off this, or characters in the future might scale off this, but yeah, it seems like you might want to have cycle intensity built out on some of the characters that participated in the creating the cycle. Unlike in other games with a similar interaction, it is not necessarily for the character with the highest cycle intensity to be the one that ends up on field. Then we carry on over here. Every character has a unique interaction with a specific Esper cycle. For example, the MC can trigger healing when a character gains ultimate energy from charge. Some characters obtain buffs, debuffs enemies, or simply deal more damage with the cycle. And that's why it's probably important to know about the elemental reactions, you know, because these are obviously gonna be able to give you the upper hand in combat. So over here we have Esper cycle reactions. We have Blossom, Cosmos plus Anima. So I think it's best to, you know, quickly tell you guys what this is. So this is Cosmos and this is Anima. This is what the hell did they call it, Incantation. This is Chaos, this is Psyche, and this is like Lakasha or something like that. Lakshana, okay, this is Lakshana. So yeah, they gave it a bit different names, but you know, you could technically say this is light, wind, fire, dark, ice, water, cryo, whatever, and I guess electric, you know. So we have Blossom, which is Cosmos plus Anima, so it will be this and this together. Leben stamps will spawn near the character periodically. Leben blooms will fly toward enemies and explode on contact, dealing AoE damage. Okay, then we have Remora, which is Cosmos plus Lakshana, so it will be this one and this one. Targets affected by Remora have their movement and attack speed slowed for a period of time. This effect gradually wears off if a target is affected by Remora repeatedly. The duration is reduced. Then we also have Nova, which is Chaos plus Psyche, is the purple one here, and the blue one. When the effect expires, affected targets take a large burst of damage. Then we have Scorch, which is Chaos plus Incantation, the purple one and the red one over here. Scorched targets take continuous damage over time, so something basically DLT right there. Then we have Hexed, Incantation plus Anima, so the red one here and the green one over here. Targets affected by Hex take 50% additional follow-up damage when hit by Anima or Incantation attacks. Okay, then we have Stain, which is Psyche plus Lakshana, the blue one and the yellow one. Stained enemies take increased damage from Psyche or Lakshana. Esper abilities. Now I know they put some here, I don't know if there is like more, who knows. And over here you also have you can also layer Esper cycles on top of each other to trigger additional combo effects such as Discord. So this is Chaos plus Psyche plus Incantation. So with the Chaos plus Psyche, we know that's Nova over here. Then you have Incantation, so it's saying it will apply both Nova and Scorch at the same time. Will trigger Discord, which reduces a percentage of the target's break. So I'm guessing because chaos is first on both of them, that's why it works the way how it works. Then we also have charge over here, which is cosmos plus anima, which is obviously the blossom. Then we have Lakshana, which is part of the remora, and as you guys can see again, cosmos is the first one, just like how chaos is. And when lemon blooms hit targets affected by remora, charge is triggered, granting the active character additional ultimate energy. So yeah, these are the ones that they've talked about as of now. I don't know if there is more in game. I guess I'm gonna have to wait and see until, you know, release. But as I said, I feel like it's important to know and understand these type of stuff, especially if you're gonna be more into the combat side of this game, because obviously it's gonna be very important to be able to trigger these effects to get additional bonuses when fighting stuff, because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some content where you have to do it in a certain amount of time and so on, you know. And obviously you're going to want to do it in the most effective way as possible. But yeah, that's probably the quickest guide I could give on the Esper cycles, the elements in this game. We went through what all of them are, what they do, and what they scale off, and basically how they work. And you kind of want to you're going to want to, you know, build your team based off this as well. As I said, if you're into the combat side of this game. But yeah, that's going to be from me. Like, subscribe, and up. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.